Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where, you know, we're just vibing as usual, always with good vibes. That's what Animal Crossing is. You know, you play this game, you get good vibes. It's kind of like a, I don't know, I was going to say a slot machine, but that's not really a good, slot machines aren't really good vibes, I don't think. Don't know, never played one, don't particularly intend to. Instead I just sort of substitute it with video games with slot machine mechanics instead. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, so it's not good vibes. Good Animal Crossing vibes is what we're here for. Yeah, I don't know, I've sort of just been vibing. I didn't record any other videos today, I didn't really feel like it, I'll be perfectly honest. Mate, I'll probably feel like it tomorrow, you know, you get that itch. But anyway, hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow, it's 5:22 PM on Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. We know, of course, Label is visiting, but we, well, maybe we'll speak about it. It depends, particularly on what she wants us to create, or what sort of outfit. Yeah, I don't know, I just sort of like watch videos here and there. Nothing all that crazy. I watched some more interesting videos about Encanto, because there are some people who are like vocal coaches or like musicians who react to Encanto, and you know, I just thought in my recommended, I was like, you know, YouTube, you got me again. You gave me a recommended video that I was interested to watch. This one was actually what's it called? We didn't talk about Bruno and how it works, or explaining how it works, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what video or the channel was that created it, but I did see this video actually a while ago. But I tried watching it while I was in a group of a group call with a load of friends, and I didn't really pay attention to it. So, you know, and I was like, oh, you know, I did mean to actually watch this properly at some point, so I probably watched it, and I was like, you know, it's pretty interesting. But I've yet to see someone, I suppose. Oh, apart from that video, sorry. But I meant to say before that, I had yet to see someone sort of like musically dive into. We don't talk about Bruno much more, I suppose, in depth compared to what I particularly want, because, you know, there's a lot of people out there who reacted to the songs, because fair enough, it's sort of like a buzzword, a sort of trending thing, and, you know, React content is very, very popular nowadays. Not that I can particularly blame people for it, because, you know, it can be very enticing, although a lot of times I'm only, you know, hold on, like, let me think how to phrase. Like, I don't say I'm uppity about it or too snooty for it or something like that, but a lot of times I don't find React content all too enticing, with the exception of I like it when the person who's reacting is an expert with regards to what's going on, which is like that Wired series that I had going on for a while. I haven't really watched most of them, but I watched some of them. There's a Wired one, I can't remember the other one, like the one that started with like the cheese expert tasting different cheeses, and then Epicurious, that sounds about right, guessing which one's more expensive. That one was kind of interesting. I guess that's not really React content, but there's that Wired one where it starts off, well, I don't know if it started off with this one, but it's the one I seen and sort of remember more clearly. Is this like surgeon, I think this ER surgeon or whatever, she's reacting to like well, these are both legitimate, I think. I can't tell if a girl with pearl earring is legitimate or not, but we'll buy this, you know. Statues are always nice to sort of put around the island. Yeah, it's like a ER surgeon or something. She's reacting to like clips and media properties, displaying like surgery scenes or something in hospitals, etc., etc. And, you know, that always is very interesting, I think, to watch, because it gives a oh no, we should donate that, I forgot. It's always nice to see an insight from an expert's perspective and see how well people portray these sort of things. So, of course, you know, Encanto, which is those songs have been stuck in my head like forever and whatnot, and I, you know, love the catchiness of the songs. I was like, I want to see some musicians react to it to see what they say. And especially I wanted someone to break down basically that we didn't talk about Bruno, and especially I wanted them to break down the overlapping part, because, you know, when I watched it in the movie, I was just like, whoa, what the heck? And I just sort of want to know from a musical perspective, how does it work? How does it legitimately work? And while I liked this person, well, this person did actually a pretty good job. I'll be honest. I suppose part of me is also like, I want more like technical in-depthness of it, but perhaps there isn't really much more technical in-depth to really say about this. I guess it's kind of me. I'm trying to desire something which doesn't exist, I suppose, in the first place. You know, I want some technical in-depth being like, ooh, these other chords I use it like 8-Bit Music Theory, that YouTube channel. Like, I want them to break that Encanto like thing, but perhaps there's not really much to say apart from exactly what's been said. It's been tied together with this like funky bass line or whatever, and the overlapping parts, and, you know, obviously same key with Isabella's part in like a relative major, etc., etc. But perhaps there's not really much more to say, which is a shame. because you know now I'm sort of left wanting more, which but that more can never really exist in that sort of thing. But they do a very good job of I think breaking it down and tying it into the themes for the movie, because that's the thing. I watch some vocals and music and songwriters, I suppose, react to We Don't Talk About Bruno, especially because I've just been curious about what to say. And of course, it's different strokes for different folks, of course. But so, you know, but the ones I found most interesting are ones who talk about like specific techniques used by like the singers or whatever, and that sort of content, that sort of things. Like talking about how surprised they were about listening to this Disney song, Disney often having very sort of airy vocals and that sort of thing, but and belting not being particularly common or whatever. But hearing Mirabelle and others like Isabella belt in a way that seems very un-Disney, and you know, them explaining the techniques, I suppose, behind that sort of thing. I'm like, oh yeah, interesting. But some of them are just, you know, fair enough to them. It's not meant to be a knock at them, because you know, it's still content is content, by the way. At the end of it, they're free to make videos that what they want. It just wasn't what I was looking for. It was just sort of just regular React content, you know, React to be like, oh, this is cool, yeah. I like this song, or like making a quippy comment. A funny quippy comment, which I suppose at the end of the day it's kind of hypocritical for me to talk about, because that's kind of just what I'm doing when I'm playing video games or anything. I'm not particularly breaking it down, but it's the sort of thing where I'm like, yeah, I get this is entertaining, but this is not what I'm looking for. It's sort of like don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be here but like, well, you should stop making that content, that content's like absolute drivel or whatever. No, carry on making it. I was just like, I'm looking for this one specific thing where someone has done a technical analysis on these songs or something. And that's what I'm looking for, in particular, you know. I don't know particularly why I'm seeking out so much, as perhaps because like character themes and plot themes and that sort of thing, I can think about myself. But musical technicalities, I have not a rudimentary understanding. I have a decent understanding of music, but I haven't really studied it in depth, so I can't really apply that sort of knowledge into like a literary analysis sort of sense, like that sort of thing, you know. But yeah, it got me thinking about React content, because React content is extraordinarily popular nowadays. You can see it pop up in recommended videos all the time. It'd be like, oh, something reacts to whatever popular thing is nowadays, you know, like latest K-pop band's music video, or latest big film, or just some really random things. And you know, I got to respect the hustle, you know, even though, you know, perhaps I am a little bit like biased against it. I'm just like, oh, you know, I don't find it particularly entertaining, and in a lot of cases I really don't, you know. But then I get to think about it. It's like, I used to kind of watch React content when I was younger anyway. I don't remember Equals3, Ray William Johnson. I'm not sure if I should be ashamed to say I used to watch it when I was like in, let me think, year 7 or something, so it would make me like 12. But I suppose that's perhaps not too surprising. And that's something. It was like the biggest YouTube channel at the time, or one of the biggest, one of the top 5 certainly. And that's essentially just React content. Probably hasn't aged very well, I must say. I think I shut down as well, the sort of thing. And I can't imagine me watching it now being like, oh yeah, this is fun. I'll probably watch it and be like, this is terrible. And just to show you know how tastes change, and exactly, you know, your taste change, and you become a different audience member, I suppose, seeking out different things from the media you consume. And certainly when I was younger, that's the sort of thing I wanted to see. I suppose I kind of liked it because it's a compilation of just basically funny videos, essentially, and then, you know, it sort of like gives you that sort of parasocial sense of, you know, hanging out with your friends, watching videos that they also find entertaining, and like quipping with each other, except for it's very one directional, which is a bit of a weird thing, which YouTube sort of brings. I suppose I myself am guilty of it by just making these videos on myself. And then I got to thinking, you know, I guess I kind of technically, if you want to think about it in some sort of strange way, I make React content as well, but not really React content in the same way that it's just like literally just me reacting. It's me playing a video game, but it's just me reacting to the video game in most cases, with the exception of Animal Crossing, where I just talk about absolutely nothing for about half an hour when I play a new game. It's basically just me reacting to what's going on, and part of me is, you know, kind of, you know, sour over that, you know. But whenever I'm playing a game, you may be aware of it, maybe you're not aware of it, depending on the game I'm playing, but whenever I can't think of like something to say, whenever the only thing I can think of to say is just literally reacting to what's going on the screen, being like, oh yeah, it's going to jump up here, I'm going to do this, and have a nice little swing sort of attack on this enemy, etc. I always find it a little bit, I'm not like bitter about it or anything, but I'm just like, oh, this is an interesting commentary. Is it interesting commentary? I don't know. I mean, I have gotten comments that people say you have a nice voice, so perhaps my voice in and of itself is enough to make a video, I suppose, appealing to watch in a certain sense. But I suppose from, you know, content creator perspective, I'm just like, I wish I had something interesting to say, which is kind of like, even though these Animal Crossing videos aren't the most popular thing, I kind of like, because I'm just basically talking, I suppose. I'm not relying, I suppose, on reacting to the game, I suppose, for my commentary or anything like that. But, you know, sometimes it's quite difficult to talk about just utter nonsense a lot of the time when you're playing a game, because, you know, you have to actually kind of concentrate on what's going on in the game. Having that sort of split focus like that gets rather difficult. We should probably sell, I don't know what we're going to sell. Maybe some fruits. Who knows? We should have looked at the media's crafting. We always walk past her house and then forget about it. Well, she's in her home, so we'll see. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure when React content started getting popularised, because I think the most straightforward answer would be that the React channel, the Fine Bros. I don't know. Do people still watch them anymore? No, I assume so, but perhaps not all that much. But like, I've seen some of their videos, some of them are kind of interesting, but it's more like, I like some of their sort of like quiz-like videos before. Well, I say before, I'd say like, I mean, if I say it like before, it sounds like I watched them like half a year ago or something. It was probably like 8 years ago or something. I know, I don't really watch them anymore. I don't even know if they're even popular anymore or whatever, but if they're doing well, more power to them, you know, fair enough. But no, they're probably not, but I don't know, maybe they were the ones who sort of like perpetuated it and popularised it, but I suppose they're not really the ones who made it the most popular, who started it, right? Because even Equals 3, I'm pretty sure, was way before them, and that's kind of like React content, but I guess it's not in the same sort of way. It's more like, it's more edited and sort of like you've been framed sort of thing, where a video plays and then react to it afterwards. And a genuine article of scenic painting, fantastic. We should actually cross this off the Dear Darling notepad, because I didn't do that yesterday, and because I didn't have it open. So there we go, we got 5 left. Bust of Nefertiti, Capitoline Wolf, Rosetta Stone, Apart the Folies, which I don't even know what that is, and the left half of the Wind God. I don't know what Apart the Folies even is. Apart the Folies. I should at least look at a picture of it so I recognise it. Oh, it's this one! I saw you seen this one multiple times. Have we just never bought it? Whoops. If that's the case. Anyway. Yeah, so React content's interesting. I suppose in a certain aspect. It's doing very popular. It's very popular. And, you know, even though, you know, me in my olden days, you know, I consumed a lot of media, especially YouTube content. When I see the React videos in my recommended, I suppose it's kind of rude, but my initial reaction just tends to be, who's watching this? But when I think about it more, I was like, probably a younger me would have watched something like this, so I can't really be all that snooty about it anyway. Even if it doesn't appeal to me now, it used to appeal to me. And by the way, you know, they're just having a fun time reacting to it. As long as, you know, I didn't even click on video, I can't even, you know, I think an initial perspective, you know, no, I keep saying, you know, I gotta stop saying that. An initial sort of prejudice, I don't know, prejudice is a bit of a strong word, I think, to use in this context, against a video you could have is that they're putting on fake reactions, and they're putting on some sort of fake personality to react to the content and, you know, drive up engagement. I'm sure to some people it is true, but a lot of the time, I suppose that what people don't realise is when you're making these videos, people who make the content, you know, they kind of like, it's kind of like the same as like going onto stage, but kind of, not everyone, I will certainly say, but the people who tend to be larger than life or that sort of thing, they tend to be people who would like to go on a stage and they would like to ham it up a bit. Like me, myself, I'm no exception to the case. If, you know, hanging out to myself, I am rather different to how I am, I suppose, if I was, like, doing a performance or something, you know? Like, if I what? I can't walk through here. Alright, you know, you two seem to be having a private moment, so I can take it in. I'm not going to third wheel this anymore. No, yeah, if I was doing a performance, if I was like performing to a crowd or that sort of thing, which is kind of like what recording videos are, of course I'm going to be a bit larger than I actually am. I'm going to be a more engaged, I'm going to be a more excited version of myself. But it's still me. Like, this is still, I never like faked, I suppose, a reaction or a faked personality. I don't really know what to say. And I imagine that applies to a lot of people who do these sort of videos. They, of course, try and be more engaging, so they'll be like more larger than life. They'll be like, whoa, that's sort of crazy, you know. And they're playing to it a lot more. because that's probably just who they are, you know. It's stop saying, you know. It's certainly a niche. It's not really the right word. It's certainly a area which would attract people who like to be performative in that sort of sense, and in that sort of aspect, they kind of are just being true to themselves. Maybe that's not how they react by themselves, but I don't think many people react the same way when performing for like thousands of people compared to how they are just by themselves. And if they are, then either they are incredibly larger than life all the time, or they have found some sort of niche where not having particularly like wild reactions is exactly what people want to watch. I don't really know. I can't say. Well, will you get the lasers? I don't know. It seems like Pecan might be the one crafting. Yeah, she's in her home. Or yeah, Phoebe's walking about, isn't she? Maybe she's not. I can't remember. I can't really recall. So yeah, basically, long and short of it is, it's like React content. Carry on doing your thing. It may not be my exact thing, but if you're finding the audience who likes it, then carry on you doing you. It's basically the long and short of it. If you have an audience who likes watching what you're doing, who likes seeing you reacting to things and that and whatnot, then that's cool, I guess. And to a certain extent, I do like watching React content, I suppose, quote, as well. But it has to be a very specific thing. It has to be. I'm not I don't like. Okay, it was two different things, I suppose. I either watch React content where I want to watch. Well, I know the content, but I want an expert's like opinion or take on that sort of thing. You know, the Epicurious or Wired sort of things, or things which are my current like mini obsession. I suppose I like to get a much more expert perspective in it and being like, why does this work well? So I can sort of learn from that experience as well. Or I like the personality who's going to be reacting to it in the first place, and I just kind of want to see their comedic chops and that's it. That kind of basically only applies to Northern Line right now, I'll be honest. Seeing Northern Line is basically the only streamer I watch where I'd consider watching him reacting to something, because he's had things where he reacts to like why have I favorited this? I don't know. Must have had it as a hot item or something many days ago. Where he's reacted to like am I the a-hole Reddit threads where basically people put down situations where it happened and they basically get the court of public, or Reddit public opinion, which by the way is not the greatest court in the world and not the greatest judicial system, to judge on whether they were in the wrong, essentially. And you know, I don't hold too much stock in exactly what's going on in the content. I don't actually really care, but it's amusing seeing his reactions, I suppose, to a thing, especially some very insane takes that people might have, or just outrageous behaviours that people have in situations that they find themselves in. But I suppose that's more, instead of it being the React content, which is the entertaining part, it's just more like I find Northern Line just like a funny YouTuber. And it's more like the React content is just a different medium that he's using to be entertaining through. And truthfully, it's not even my favourite content from him. I like when he plays like FMV games like Contradiction. He's recently played Not For Broadcast, which I talked about a little bit, I think, at some point, and maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I feel like I might have, which was a game I was considering playing, but then decided not to because I don't know, I'm not sure if it's quite the right fit, but maybe it could be interesting, and also there's like mature content in it, which I'm just like, maybe I don't want to try and test YouTube's boundaries of that sort of thing. But yeah, like very entertaining, and his reactions to that, I suppose, is what's most entertaining. But yeah, I suppose when you're playing a video game, you're kind of reacting to it, but you're also interacting and reacting with it at the same time, which you might say like that gives it a different sort of level of depth or whatever, but I feel like that's a little bit misleading, because it's not like video games are one of like the only interactive mediums, so it's not like people who react to movies or music videos, etc., can really do much else. It's not like we can jump into a music video or anything like that, or dance along with it. Or if they can, then I suppose fair enough, but that seems a little bit, I don't know, ham-fisted. So if anything, I suppose I'm guilty of maybe, well, I'm not going to say I'm accusing people of it, because, you know, that as I'm trying to reiterate multiple times, I'm pretty fine with it, you know. But in this whole world, there's so many different flavours. I'm not going to criticise one or the other just because it's not to my tastes. You enjoy what flavours you like, as long as it's not hurting anyone, I say. So yeah, React content, very popular. Is it my sort of thing? Do I ever plan to do it? I don't know, probably not. I mean, I'm not going to say I would never do it, because I could, there are features I can see where if I did like live streams, I I would totally watch things like E3, you know, I'd watch like the Nintendo show and react to content from that, like react to it live, or, you know, any video games I like, if they have any sort of like trailers or talk show things beforehand, afterhand, or whatever, talking about upcoming content, I would react to that and watch it live or something, because, you know, I understand why it's enticing, especially in like live streams and that sort of thing. It's like you're watching together with a group and with a sense of community. Even better if that community is one that you are particularly fond of, aka a community all surrounding like a streamer you like, or a YouTuber, etc. that you like. I certainly can't criticise it, because it just makes perfect sense. Hopefully I would like to think I'd be a bit more careful about the whole parasocialness of it, which always puts me off slightly, but, you know. Hold on. Was Pecan crafting? Was Phoebe crafting? Did we even look? Vivian can't be crafting because she's not even there. Oh, we didn't even go to Phoebe's house. Maybe we did, I don't know. I've talked about it before, parasocial elements make them, and this sort of thing always makes it feel a little bit weird. Oh, I thought the timer said 30 minutes. I was like, it's been 30 minutes? What the heck? No, it's only been 21 minutes. I want a belly button of what you're making. So yeah. So certainly I think some React content's interesting. I can't see a future where I do the sort of things like you laugh, you lose challenges, those sort of things. I'll be honest, they're not very entertaining to me. That's partly due to the fact that I don't tend to visibly laugh quite a lot when I react to things, or when I react to media properties and that sort of thing. The things I tend to laugh at would tend to be in social situations, you know, hanging out with friends, etc., or interacting with people. Like watching like I know, a funny cat video doesn't. I'm not going to say a video has never made me laugh. I'm not that much of a killjoy, but I will certainly say there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I find it funny, but I don't express it. You know, as I've mentioned probably many times before, I'm not particularly visibly or audibly expressive when it comes to things sometimes. Well, that's not true. When I'm in a social setting, I would absolutely be far more visibly expressive and that sort of thing. But if I'm just playing games with myself and that sort of thing, I'm just with myself, I'm going to be a bit more chilled out, I suppose, compared to being in a social setting, which is kind of maybe the reverse of what people normally do. I don't really particularly know. We should have seen what hot item was. I don't know why we didn't. We definitely need to buy more customization kits at some point. At some point, I mean... Oh, we don't need to yet. Let us see what the hot item is. Maybe we'll do a bit of exercise. We'll try and cycle through these missions to try and get in the daily exercise thing going. And what hot item we got? Bamboo drum, brickwell. Those are quite annoying ones, I'm not gonna lie. Bamboo drum's probably okay for us to do, so we'll give that a shot. What else? Yeah, I don't know what other sort of React content would even be interesting. And obviously React content's always got the sort of the weirdness when it comes to copyright things. About oh, room size cannot be changed in your home or at Photopia. Oh, cool. I didn't realise the Happy Home Paradise things. We can start doing that now. That's fine. I'm pressing the wrong button. First things first, let's see what we need to make a bamboo drum. I don't think it's a seasonal item, is it? No, we're still in winter. So we're just going to have to manually find it, which is not really that big a deal. I believe it's just bamboo, but of course you can never be too sure. Oh, Joy-Con drift. Bamboo piece and softwood. Okay, so it's a bit more than what might have been expected. So let's grab a little bit of softwood. Apparently we have a lot of softwood, and we have quite a lot of bamboo. Apparently no young spring bamboo. Really? Did I not harvest any? I thought I harvested some at springtime. Did I really not? Oh no, wait, why are they separated? I don't particularly know, but let us craft this item, and then we'll try and leave quickly before a random villager ends up popping up into our house and trapping us in here before we can particularly leave. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about React content. I don't know, I guess people have criticisms that it's lazy because you're just sort of rehashing other people's content for your own sort of content, which I don't know. I don't really have much sway either way. I suppose, like, I feel like it's a bit harsh to call something lazy, especially when I'm just here playing a video game. Then that's probably as lazy as you can kind of get with a lot of certain things. But I'm not going to be like, oh, it's particularly high effort. It seems like either. I'd imagine a lot of the high effort part goes into the editing, I'd imagine. But of course it depends, because actually there's another thing. There's another YouTube channel called what's he called? Your Form of Therapy? That sounds right. He reacts actually to some K-pop videos, and sometimes when I hear like a K-pop song I like, or I'm like, oh, is it interesting dance, or I think, oh, this is interesting editing on the video, sometimes I'll see if he's reacted to it and see what he thinks about it, because he's like, I don't know, he's some sort of producer. I don't really know, to be honest, and he, I think, talks really well, and he's quite knowledgeable about the K-pop music industry, which I'm not that knowledgeable on. I sort of know vaguely what happens in, but he has a lot of he can draw past experiences of like common trends and that sort of thing, and it's very entertaining, I think, to watch in that sort of sense. That is certainly high effort, you know, or at least, if not, well, okay, it's high effort in the sense that he's had like all these years of learning and training, I suppose, and experience that he has drawn upon and earned, I suppose, through continuous practicing, that sort of thing. So that's where, you know, that the effort actually comes from. I don't know. I wonder if, you know, because I'm not really keeping track on what is high effort and what isn't high effort. I wonder if the most popular React content are the high effort ones. And honestly, I can't say, because I haven't the faintest of ideas. I'd like to hope so, because I always find them most fascinating. But, you know, you're not always consuming recreational media, I suppose, just to learn something, you know. But it kind of depends on the person. Sometimes you just want to switch brain off to just basically like watch something kind of along with someone else, essentially. And I can't fault that. It's, you know, fun, I suppose. Maybe it's not exactly what I want a lot of the time, but it's what some people want. And if some people want it, then that means it's certainly got some sort of merit. Probably, I don't know. It's not very nuanced take, and it's very sort of like, obviously, I haven't swayed very hard in either direction, because I feel like it's just like, it's not really my place to really comment on it, to be honest. I'm sure people out there have done much better research, much better planned, thought out things, and videos probably covering, you know, React content, and they have their own takes and opinions on it, which are probably far smarter and far more nuanced than I could ever do. So really, I'm sort of just like, there's no point for me personally. So let us craft these 3 things or customize our 2 tools, and then I think we'll round off this episode here. See, I don't know. I mean, it could be a situation, you know, maybe I'll find myself in future when I'm still, if I'm still making videos or whatever, I'll be like, wow, people actually really like it when I react to something. It's in fact, you know, the most favourite content that people like from me. They love it when I watch, I don't know, the latest episode of The Apprentice or something. I don't know. It's because my friends are watching Apprentice later today, but I don't really like Apprentice, so I'm not watching it. And they like to see sort of my comment on it. Actually, that would be a thing. If, you know, if British Bake Off were just like, hey, because I know that's a thing that people are doing with some Twitch streams. People are getting permission from the people who actually created like the show or whatever to like re-live stream it and like commentate it at the same time. I would absolutely do that for things like Eurovision, you know, Graham Norton style. I would do it for the Great British Bake Off. I don't know any other shows I would do it on. Only Connect, I suppose. University Challenge, although I don't think I'd be particularly good at University Challenge. University Challenge is really hard. I'm not saying Only Connect isn't, but Only Connect I can actually get some other things. You see, Only Connect is more about sort of like lateral thinking, while University Challenge, a lot of it is knowledge. And I don't have a huge amount of knowledge. I like to think much more of a lateral thinking sort of brain. I don't know if that's true or not. Kind of sounds like a bit of a learning style sort of thing, which isn't a thing, but whatever. Oh, we've got the morning exercises, but we've only got a minute left. I don't think that's enough time, but maybe it is. But we're going to round off this episode here anyway, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscriptions, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we can see each other again, but for now it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.